It's like, wow, okay,
So he's put up like good parses and he's still saying it's trash. Is that what I'm hearing?
right? Yeah, like he's not bad at him.
I'm parsing to like the 60s, and
Oh,
it needs to be in the 90s.
jeez.
I need to be better.
Scrums. Like I'm in the top.
So bad.
And yeah, there's so many like memes in our Discord of like people letting go of balloons and just watching them go. I didn't know about. So when you went into arenas and you saw some dude just channeling something, as a healer, I'm just like, oh, I can't heal him. I can't heal him. It's like because you have that stupid maledict thing on him that just slaps, man.
All right. Well, the winner is. All right. Good morning. Thank you for waking up some morning wood this bright July, 18th we got? We're going to be rolling into this week in the world of Warcraft. It's going to be 7/20 is going to be the reset here this Tuesday coming up. Got episode 25 of the Morning Wood. We've almost been doing this for half a year. So just going to throw this out. Next week, half a year mark, I'm going to do something different. We're going to throw in some live drawings throughout the show. Give some Morning Wood swag away next weekend during the show. So you got to be here to get it because the drawing will be ran live throughout the day. So just throw it out there and tell the guys about it. But I just had that in my head 10 minutes ago, so we're going to go with it. All right, and then also if you're watching this on Twitch here, hit the follow button, show some love. If you're watching this on YouTube later, I believe you hit the subscribe, ding the bell, hit the thumbs up, go that route. Then we got Hacked Out this week, so we got special guest Rain back here, another fan favorite, so repeat offender.
Hello, hello.
And of course, Mr. Drew, a fan favorite and a cast regular. Is that how we word this?
Yeah, you pretty much word it however you want, I think.
A cornerstone to the podcast. He's a strong limb to the Morning Wood.
Yes.
All right, well,
That works, I guess.
all right, so we'll roll right on in here to Mythic Plus for the week. We just finished week 2, I believe, right? Because we had 1 week of Ty, 1 week of Ford, and now we're going to be rolling into week 3. So the fixes coming up this week. We got Tyrannical. So, of course, that bosses are 30% more health. Their minions inflict 15% more damage along with their self. We got Tormented. That's that sweet little anima power that you get those 4 buffs throughout it. And the other fixes we just don't know because Blizzard, they're holding that close to the chest. They don't want us to know what's coming. So it's probably because they don't either. They probably code that last minute with the flip of the coin. So I guess let's talk about these now. So this is the second week. It's the Fort week. So Fort week's generally a push week. How are keys going for you guys? I guess where you at, Drew? You do as many this week as you did last week?
More. Like, I've done, I think, 4 15s. And then I've gotten a third chest, so I've done 10, and the lowest one on that has been a 13. So they've all been high keys, and yeah, it's definitely push week, or it is for next day.
Nice. And then what about you, Rain? How you doing on keys? You pushed more this week than you did last week?
Not. I've only pushed 4 this week. Got my 1500. Keep getting hard stuck on Mist's 14 runs because the timer is just so tight with Fort and bad inspiring RNG. Was gonna probably do a couple more today. Try to get some 15s knocked out. Get the rest of my secondary Fort keys done for the ones that I need to do. But it's been good. I mean, it's Mythic Plus feels better with the Tormented affix.
Yeah. And this is also the first week that it's not capped as far as end of dungeon loot. So there's definitely some incentive to get out there.
Right. And if I've got my notes right, you can get a 236 piece off of 14 is the highest you can get off the dungeon, right?
But that's also really important because that's the highest you can get it and then you can upgrade it. I think it's 2 levels once you get the 2000 rating.
Okay, so the min maxing this week is doing 14s to get your highest.
15. They changed it from last season, so 15's the highest end of dungeon or the highest
The vault, right?
alt loot you can get. Yeah.
So doing a 15 for your vault, but then you could do a bunch of 14s. Well, I guess you want 15s for multiple vaults, huh? If you want to get all 3 years, you want to do all 15s for the 10?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that right now it's up to me having 15s for 2 of them, and then 13 for the last one. But it just gives you a good chance to get something good, you know. And it's really picky this time around too, because there are so many slots that are just reserved for things. Like you have slot reserved for legendary, you have a slot reserved for all of your domination slot gear, and so you've got to really kind of pick and choose.
Right, and then you're looking at 236 dungeon drops when it's 239 for raid heroic drops once we get there too. So, and then Valor Cap's going to go up to 2,250, so that's going to be your final, the 3 hits for like trinkets and the kind of the low end stuff, right? If you're doing the optimal gearing.
Yeah, probably you'll use that.
I do wish they would make the cap a little bit bigger, maybe 1,000.
Like 1,000 a week instead of 750.
Yeah, because it just, especially when trying to do alts or catch up, like it's tight. You have to really pick and choose what you want to spend that valor on, and it goes so fast.
Yeah,
Right.
that's the main reason why you aren't going to be upgrading anything that doesn't drop the 236 item level, is because it's too damn expensive, and unfortunately that rules out a majority of people who do Mythic Plus, because not everybody's at that level, you know.
Right, and that's fair. Yeah. So this tormented thing. So do you guys have your 4 that you pick going into it every time, or do you swap any, or is it just these are the 4 I pick and I'm good with it?
Yeah, it's pretty much the 4, right?
Yeah, same. For DPS, it's basically the same 4. There's even a weak aura you can set up by spec that'll auto pick for you, so you don't have to waste time clicking.
Yeah, it was a little bit different this run, I got to tell you though, this week, because of the fix. So as a tank, I went with the leech one, where I usually go with just the straight up damage reduction in verse. So it's a little bit different from week to week for me, at least.
For at least for Warlock, it's just pick Phoenix and the mastery buff, and then the same 2 defensives, the shield and the fungus, and that's it. Nothing changes.
Right, so there was one that I guess a guide showed me to get Champion's Brand, but looked at it and there was actually like, maybe it's the Phoenix one you talked about, a Volcano one, where it like stuns them.
Right.
Like that stun is amazing. Like that went off so many times in a dungeon. It kind of
Are you talking
baffled
about
me.
the one where it knocks him up in the air?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also really nice because it goes through inspiring, so you can get interrupts on inspired mobs.
Oh man, that's gonna be broken then, right? Blizzard probably just didn't think about that.
I mean, maybe it feels like this is a season of like rewarding us after Prideful. I felt like was just like so hard with needing routes, and just the Prideful mobs were difficult. So like this is a, hey, let's have some fun and let them have some extra power here. I think it feels really good though. I like the tormented thing. I wish there was a little more variety, but I'm having way more fun this season than I did all of last season.
Yeah, it's definitely an affix that is very, very easy, in my opinion. Like, it's so much easier to do a 10 than it is a 9. It's
Right.
crazy.
Well, that's kind of how it was with Prideful, right? Besides the whole route thing, like you still had that big.
So at the end of the season, though, like what teams were doing is they were just avoiding the Prideful mob period, because it took too much time to take down, as opposed to like just getting the buff from it.
Right.
All right, so on the Mythic Plus thing, so I hate being a DPS for Mythic Pluses. I'm not patient. I hate waiting in a queue for all these people to deny me because I've got like a lower item level than most of these people. Even though going against hunters with like 15 item levels on me and I crush them in DPS, it's still like, on paper, if you see a 215 queue in or a 230, I'm going to take the 230 every day, like item level. Like, so I understand why they're doing it, but it pisses me off because I'm on the other side of this. So I'm starting to work on the warrior again because I can tank. And I did a lot more keys in the druid too. So just a heads up on the warrior, because I do have that too. The only drawback on the warrior is the damage done. It isn't going to be as much as like a demon hunter or a paladin or a druid even. And the go-to tank this season is actually druid. Right. And I know you have one of those, so. Well, and while we're on the topic here, let's see where the druid IOs are at right now. Yeah, I might have done all these 13s and 14s, 15s, but on the druid I have done 0 this week. Right, so you're at 289 up the 3 keys. Like, I don't even know how this displays now. Yeah. There we go. Double out. All right, so I've done 3 total. You've done 3 total. I've just done higher ones. Right. That's not even that far off, though. Like 100 points. That's the dungeon. And yeah, and if you just complete them, like the actual score goes up so much until a certain point, until about 14, and then it just crawls. That's kind of how it's designed. Oh, so this is this off of the WoW scoring or the Raider IO scoring? It's the WoW scoring. So they changed theirs to match. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Yeah, it's some stupid thing where you get to do all of each of the 2 affixes, like the fortified and the tyrannical, and then you like drop the 2 lowest or some bullshit. So just something so complex that you can't just figure it out yourself. You have to trust their number.
The number is the number.
Yes.
So what are you guys doing, since you are both kind of like me and play a multitude of characters over the course of a season? How are you guys handling alts? Like my goal was to run, because right now my warlock is my alt, but that may be changing, or my main, but that may be changing soon. So like my goal was to just run at least 1 Mythic Plus on my Pally and my Druid every week, just to get something to keep them like slowly gearing. But I'm just curious what your guys' thoughts, like what are you guys doing?
Yeah, that's the goal. And like the first week of the patch, I was going crazy on all of the characters with the dailies and all that. It's just too much. It's just too much to do. So yeah. It's just like, for me at least, it's like Demon Hunter, full steam, until I get to a point where I can't upgrade it anymore, and then I'll switch it off to the other ones. But yeah, it makes more sense to at least get something done during the week, so you get something in your chest.
Right.
I think 4 is the sweet spot. That's what I'm shooting for. So I've got 4 in my druid, or I need to get 1 more in my druid, have 4 in the druid, and then I've got like 5 in the hunter or something like that.
Nice.
But like I'm weird. Like I have a calendar where I highlight as I do things for the week, so I know, like, without having to go in the game, like what I need to do. So I've got like the 6 assaults I need to do. Yeah, 3 and 3.
Oh God, there's a new one out, isn't there?
Yeah, Night Fae started.
So that Saturday morning I knock out assaults on 2 to 3 tunes, just because I've got to make sure I get it done right away, or I won't go back. So Then
Wow.
did
Yeah.
you guys do
Yeah.
Korthia dailies too?
I was. I have been kind of lazy.
Yeah, on my main, yes. Alts, definitely not.
So I tried to do as many alts as possible midweek because those like ores were selling for 5k a pop. So each alt I did I got 10k off of. But then I realized after 2 of them, it's not everybody gets the same. Like it's some weird bullshit. Like my hunter's got like 5 bows now since it started. Like it just keeps giving me different bows. But then like my warrior only gets the ores. So I don't know what the method to their algorithm is on that, but the ones that need the weapons don't get it. The other ones get ores.
Yeah, that was like my warlock didn't get the trinket that everybody wanted, and every other caster got it except for me. So that was wonderful.
But then they nerfed it, right?
They did nerf it, so it's not a huge deal, but I still wanted it.
All right, good deal. So enjoying Mythic Plus so far, so that's a good thing Blizzard did. So it's kind of a weird fix where it's not the craziest thing, but it's enough to make it enjoyable. So all right, and then set up cover Mythic Plus. What about this Tazavesh thing? So I think last time we talked, Rain and I had gone through and done it on normal, and then Drew had queued up to go through there, and I believe you guys did hard mode then, right, Drew?
We did. It's buggy as all hell. Like, we had one of the bosses we wiped to, right? And then the next time, he just didn't do any of the mechanics. So it was like, oh, okay. We'll just kill him. All right. So, yeah, it's just stupid. And then like one of the bosses, like, you can't do the actual mechanic. So the idea is just to burn him as fast as possible. So, I don't know, man. It could have been so good. And the only one that is really amazing, I think, is the last boss in there on hard mode. That one takes some thinking and takes some serious coordination to pull off. We wiped, must have been like 10 times on him. Just because everybody's got to do everything perfect on that fight. But you know, it's and boss, so it was good.
All right, I guess Rain, what are your thoughts on that? Like we haven't had you on it since this rolled out.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool. It is very buggy. I wish it wouldn't have rolled out in that state, obviously. Like, the only option for killing the mailroom boss, like Drew said, is just to lust and burn him. Like, because the mechanic itself doesn't actually work. So, I think it's cool, though. I still need to do hard mode. The group I was going with, we got 4 of 8 done, and then it just got late. Everybody had to go, and then we couldn't really find a time to get back on. I was hoping we would be the first people to finish it, but then, you know, Drew and his super group get together and go knock that out and, you know, leave us in the dust. So the competition was lost. But no, it's cool. I think just I wish I did more stuff like that. You know, more, because the story's kind of cool. You know, you're sneaking through Tazavesh, and you know, you get caught, and that's what activates hard mode. I think like when they incorporate a little bit of story and lore into the dungeon, I think it makes it, at least for me, a little more like I'm interested in seeing how this plays out now, instead of just like you know, now we're just grinding Mythic Plus. So I think I just want more content. After 9 months, I'm ready for more.
Yeah, the mini dungeons, they seem, I mean, the raid type dungeons, they seem to do really well with. Like Mechagon was good. What was the one before that? The one on Legion.
Kara?
Karazhan, yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. And they all have story behind them, which is cool. But yeah, your average dungeon really doesn't. I mean, like there's a idea behind it, you know, but there isn't a detailed story. It's just like, this person's bad, kill him.
Right. I think like if we would have had like maybe a precursor dungeon that was in the Maw too, to like set up the raid, that would have been cool, instead of just, I know we have all the Korthia story, but I guess what I'm saying is I just want more dungeons. I want more different things to do.
Yeah.
Right. So, what are your thoughts on this? Like, as I'm like toeing the line between TBC and this, I wish they would have rolled out this as a 10-man instead of just a 5-man dungeon. Like, I think it would have been cool to have a 10-man dungeon.
In my opinion, no, because in TBC you don't have scaling. You have 25 people that you need for each raid. In here, if you have 10 people, you can go in and you can do the raids.
But can you, like, it's not optimal. It seems like it's harder to try and do it with 10 men, right? Or is that actually a thing that people are doing?
I mean, that's more of a scaling issue. But there are a lot of guilds that are just 10 people guilds, and they go in there and they do it.
So I guess since it's got scaling and everything, it can potentially be 10 men already, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I don't know if that content is necessary per se, if they already, you know, the raid already scales
Accordingly.
But multiple new 5-mans I think would be good.
Or what are your thoughts on this? Because I've been watching all this like Final Fantasy stuff, because all the WoW people that I watch are doing the crossover stuff, and they're basically jumping ship. Final Fantasy does something where they make old content still relevant, like their scaling I guess is better, or they make it, I don't know, they do something there where it makes their old content actually relevant as you're leveling up, where it feels like it's good still. What if on these weeks they do, what do you want to call it, the time walking stuff, what if they made those tweaked so you could do Mythic Plus with those still? Like, would it open up just a whole new can of worms to being able to do Mythic Plus on these old dungeons?
I don't know the Final Fantasy system that well. But yeah, go ahead, Drew.
So the problem with that is that hold on. The problem with that is that all those dungeons were scaled, like for instance with Battle for Azeroth, with the idea behind your neck piece, right? And when you throw in the Covenant abilities, it throws everything off of whack that they balanced for. I just don't think that it's necessary, or, I mean, and then do you really want to have stuff drop from old content that's as good as stuff that's dropping from new content? Because that just, in my opinion, that just feels bad. Final Fantasy 14 is a completely different game. And people, they try to compare it to WoW because it's an MMO, but like the end game is completely different. And it's just something that's completely different. Like, I don't know how else to put it.
So you don't think there's a way to integrate old content, basically let old content be dead and nothing to like revamp or make relevant?
I mean, they have that. It's not at the level you want, but they have that.
Yeah, because isn't, like, Final Fantasy, you're not really, like, if you are doing the max or close to max endgame raids, and then you go back into like a time walking or their version of that endgame raid from expansions past, like, you're not getting relevant gear unless I'm mistaken. Like, it's more for, since one character can be all the jobs, like, you would grab some pieces for your off jobs or something. Because when I was leveling and playing, I don't remember like a way to skip past like story content, so like it kind of forces you through all the old stuff. And then like when I was switching jobs, I had a hard time getting gear for my other jobs that I wasn't maining when I was running through the story. So I don't know, but is that the purpose of why they do it that way?
I'll be honest, I don't know much about it, besides somebody was talking about they made their old dungeons still relevant, so their old content's just not dead.
Yeah, because I know it forced me through like the old raids as part of the story, which was cool. And, you know, I got gear that was relevant to my power level at the time. but I don't remember like that old stuff carrying over for very long.
All right, so a no-go to Blizzard trying to do this. I guess is it part of the fact that Blizzard is horrible at balancing and you feel like they just screw it up anyways? Or it's you don't want to do this old stuff anymore, you want to just live in the new world?
That's where I'm at.
They have time walking.
Yeah, but like the way it's now, like, bleh. Like I can't stand to do time walking currently.
Well, I mean, like, okay, so you can't stand to do time walking because of how the dungeons are compared to how they are now.
It's the reward system. Like if I had a piece of loot that compared to good loot now, then I would do it. But like I don't want to do old stuff and not get rewarded is my thing. Like I need the carrot.
Right.
I think that's where the weekly chest portion of doing your 5 or whatever comes in. So you get, a piece of raid gear just for doing 5 old dungeons.
Right. Yep.
Right. But I don't know if they would never be able to like balance some of the old busted trinkets in today's game. It'd be impossible.
And it just doesn't feel good to have to go back and do old content to get your best in slot gear, in my opinion.
Oh,
I mean, already it doesn't feel good in the current Mythic Plus season to have to farm up the same pieces that you got in the previous Mythic Plus season, and that it's just an addition to that feeling, in my opinion.
Trying to chase down that trinket from the other side, like every
yes, and you always get the wrong one because for some reason they put the DPS trinkets as a tank trinket.
Yeah.
The little box doesn't have some kind of a cube that's relevant to a tank, like because it's.
I mean, it gives you a verse or haste, but the big thing is it's on a 3-minute cooldown, and that's just crap for tanks. You don't want a 3-minute cooldown for tanking.
Unless you're bear, and then you just pop everything every 3 minutes,
Well,
and you're
if
god.
you're bear, you just go AFK and you just swipe the entire or thrash the entire.
Yeah, you push Iron Fur. That's all you need to do on bear.
So
Iron Fur and thrash. That's it.
You can macro thrash and Iron Fur on the same button. So that's what I do, and I just press one button the whole time, especially when I pop Berserk. So then there's 30 seconds for me just spamming that same button over and over.
And if you wake up and you happen to be low by some miracle, you just hit your frenzied regen. There you go.
You don't have to hit it. You've got like that soul bind that does it for you automatically, right? So
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's the meta tank.
One button, free 15s. Let's go.
All right, good deal. All right, so I guess that'll cover it for Mythic Plus. We'll see if Rain and his group knocks out the Tazavesh like hard mode this week. I'm probably not going to go back in there ever again. I saw it. I'm done. Yeah, I'll just live in the higher item level world for different loot.
The mount's really cool, though, man.
Yeah, I'll wait till it gets easier and not as bugged. Like the 10 wipes for your guys' squad. Like,
well, no, I mean, like, to be honest with you, the 10 wipes were on a boss that isn't bugged. It's just hard, and the bosses that are bugged pretty much made it easier, but stupid.
have you been in there with a pug yet?
Of course not.
Yeah, you haven't been in there with a pug. Like I did it with a group, and then I did it with a pug. And after that pug experience, they didn't make it for pugs. Like,
Yeah, like I've done pugs with the other side, and if that's what I thought the other side was, I would never step in there again.
yeah, like
So-
the orb boss and the gold pools in the corners. So let's talk about this for a second because that was a shit show. So. None of them knew the boss. Like, we went through the Murloc Gauntlet of Doom, and that took a long time in general, because, like, if my binding shot wasn't up, those ads were pulling other ads, so that was a horrible experience. So we were already pot committed by the time we got to this boss. And I volunteered to be the one quarterbacking, like, all right, you guys go here. And they refused voice. They wanted me to type out where everybody goes. And not just say, like...
That's when you leave.
I went through 45 minutes of Murloc deaths. I wasn't leaving. I was pot committed at that point. So I was like, all right, you guys pick circles, and then whatever color you get, I'll throw down raid markers, and you move it there. Well, they refused to pick circles because that wasn't optimal for them. They wanted to just wing it and have people just go to whatever orb they want and grab it. Well, I don't know if you've done the circle. Like, it's not all at once. It kind of like pops up in a rotation. So I was gated on how fast I could throw the markers based on how that rotation went around. And they thought it was more optimal if I would just type out, all right, Drew, take the red orb here. Hunter, you take the, like, they thought that was more optimal than me just putting the raid markers down of the, if you have this color, go here.
So, okay, so let me just put this out there. The first, the when you join the group and they're like, we don't want to do voice, you just type out stuff, that's the point where you leave.
So, do a preface to begin with. If there's no voice to start, get out.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously, it's too much of a pain for them to get in a voice. So it's not going to go well.
Right. So that's where the whole not tank thing comes in. Like being a DPS, your options are limited on groups. So you basically take what you can get. So that's where this hunter is kind of like not ideal for me as much anymore.
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, like, we have people in guild that want to get this done. So that would be my suggestion to you is get it done in guild and make sure that people in guild are in voice, which they would be because they're not maniacs.
Well, I'm pretty sure one of the guys was from Frostmourne, so that should have been the dead giveaway.
Yeah,
So
there you go.
I had a demon hunter from Frostmourne the other day, and he was an absolute pumper, and it kind of changed my opinion on Frostmourne in that moment.
Yeah.
Oh, and he had a goofy name, right? I think I remember this.
Yeah, he did. It was something weird.
Yeah, I think I was there with you.
Yeah, you were. Something about balls.
Yeah.
And he was a pumper. He was good.
Was that this week or was it the week before?
It was last week.
Yeah, because that would have been on a tie week, and it was a fairly low key, right?
It was like an 8 or a 10 or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we were capped at like 10 for a gear anyways, so I think it was like a 10 or something.
Just for that moment, though, and then I remembered that it's Frostmourne.
Yeah.
So it would be on Tyrannical Week. I must have been on Not My Hunter, huh?
When you wanna run hard mode, you just hit me up in guild instead of pugging. I'll be in voice. Don't worry.
Do I have to kill all the bosses on hard mode, or can I just do the last one?
Nope. Gotta get them all.
Ah, great. All right, good deal. Well, on that note, we'll be done with Mythic Plus because now I'm a little salty going back to that experience. All right, so I got world bosses here. So we got this week Mortanis. He'll be up in Maldraxxus in that southwest corner. This is going to be for the Fury Warrior, the Punch Monk, and the Outlaw Rogue. Really not ideal for any of these classes. Fury Warrior's got to have the cadence of. So is it Fajita? Like,
No, I'm getting hungry.
So
Man, all of those sound good.
I'll throw this in Twitch. So how do you pronounce this? Because as I look at it, I feel like it should be the cadence of Fajita. Is that
Cadence of Fuji.
cadence of Fuji? We're not
Sure.
going to assume it's a Spanish item, and it's not going to be fajita.
I mean, that works too.
Yeah, it's really what you want it to be, right?
All right. We're going to call it the cadence of fajita, and if I ever go Fury, I'm going to get that, and I'm going to have a macro that yells it. So, and then Punch Monk's got a key for Sky Reach. That's going to be the increased range and dash. I think this is just a PvP effect where it gives an extra closer because monks don't have enough closers in general. So having the 17th gap closer comes in convenient. And then Outlaw has the Guile Charm? Another weird word that I can't pronounce, but it's not ideal. So this isn't the ideal week for memories where you have to get out there. And then you got Morgoth is up every week there. Out in the Maw, you just have to go through the Death Gauntlet. Something I've found out is a little bit helpful is getting that mount token. What do you call those things where you augment your mounts?
Oh, like the little mount item.
Yeah, like instead of having the water walking one, because there's not really water is an issue anymore, I got the one that you can't be dazed now on all my characters.
Yeah, the mount equipment is what it's.
There you go.
There you go. So that's the thing out there. That's a Morningwood tip of the week. Get the anti-daze thing so you can try and get to this boss before you get killed by all the elites out there just whacking at you. So,
or just be a tank.
Right?
So you don't get dazed. So.
There's that too. So double benefit. You can be a tank, not get dazed, and you can actually get into queues and not wait for 2 hours in M+. So, all right. So let's start with the raid. So Race for World First is going on. We've got, I believe, Echo, Limit, Method, and did BDGG, are they on? Are they all on Sylvanas? Is there 4 of them on there right now?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because I looked
Yeah.
I think
last
there's
night.
3 of them on there.
Okay, so just Method. BDGG is not there yet? Is that?
No,
No, I think it's
yeah.
Yeah,
4
Echo,
games.
Limit,
Okay,
and
all 4 of them.
BDGG.
Method's on it now too. So all 4 are on Sylvanas Prague.
Oh, nice.
That must have happened late last night, because
I think early this morning. Whatever. 9
Yeah,
o'clock
5
UTC is.
5 hours ago. Yeah.
Well, late last night, early this morning, kind of the same thing, right? Depending on how you
Yeah.
break it down.
Well, with Method, they have their EU, right? So
Yep.
probably normal time for them.
Yeah. That's interesting though that we've got 2 NA and 2 EU guilds
Yeah, all
all progressing. Well, of course.
So, what do you think? Think they'll get it before the reset, or how do we fall on this?
Yeah, I think so. They've got them to like 80%.
So
80% done.
Echo's best pull right now is 65 that they just did.
Is
and
that
they went in-
remaining or?
That's her percentage, so 15%
Okay.
remaining. If it ends at 50. Since we
Right.
don't really know if it ends at 50 or not.
Yeah, who knows? There might be another trash bag scene.
Yeah. And that was with them going into P3 with everybody alive. And it was, I think, their first pull. And when I was watching Limit last night, I think their best pull was like 78% before they went to bed. And they were going in still pretty messy off of P2. So it's, I guess, possible it gets done with, today, tomorrow for the US. But I don't know. I think it's going to take a reset. I think it's just too much damage. But we'll see.
I hope it takes a reset. Like, I want to see it go that extra week and see how they attack it with a whole new week of like loot, and like I want to see the strategy that gets laid out on how to go.
I think if it takes a reset, then NA wins. If it doesn't, then I think Echo wins.
So you think the day of extra loot is going to be enough to push them over?
Well, I think just because then they would be getting into, we get the reset 16 hours ahead. I think that's that right now. Echo looks better than Limit. They pretty much have for the entire raid.
So you think the extra like Mythic Plus box or loot from Mythic Vault is going to be that extra piece across everybody, or I guess
They'd probably do splits again.
So hop into splits right away, you think, and then attack it.
Yep.
And then they reset Mythic, right? They go all the way back through, or they stay at the lockout.
That would be an interesting call. I don't know what they would do. They may, I would imagine they just heroic split, try to get some more domination socket, set bonuses, and then maybe go right back to Sylvanas.
You think you miss out on the 9 bosses of loot though? Like that's the hard play, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. Max would probably be the one who would make the right decision, hopefully, because 3 raids ago when they lost because they did splits instead of progressing on the boss.
So that's definitely a lot riding on his shoulder to make that call. So
Yeah.
So luck to him not having a stroke when that flips if it goes into next week. So, all right. Speaking of the raid, though, we do have a clip here from the raid itself. This is where Sylvanas, she transforms, or she turns into like basically her druid form, kind of. But instead of an owl, it's a trash bag, and then flies off.
Mhm.
Well, the cool version of this is in BFA, where she calls everybody nothing and then just kind of goes into the air and leaves. Like the same move, just really bad.
Yeah, this time she goes all Katy Perry. It's so bad.
And yeah, there's so many like memes in our Discord of like people letting go of balloons and just watching them go.
Like halfway through when she they're trying to make it look like she's spinning and she just like 2D flips around. That part gets me every time right here.
Why does she spin? Like, what's the purpose?
Oh, it's so bad.
You know what makes it look the worst is the pieces of, are they supposed to be mist that are coming out like cat whiskers almost? Those don't change.
Like the spider legs?
Yeah, they're just stuck.
Yeah, and if you were moving through the air, those wouldn't be that way. And I think that's the main thing that makes it look horrible. Right?
I mean, thank God we never have to watch it again.
Oh, I'm gonna watch. No, so for some reason, Kat thinks that that's the most hilarious thing in the entire world. So I've had to just sit there, and I haven't watched it, but she's in the car, she's looking at it, and she's just laughing over and over and over again. Right? Well, I don't have to see it because I've seen it, and every single time she laughs, I like it's in my head. I'm like, okay, that's what she's laughing at. So I've seen it like a billion times in my head.
So what's going on there? Like, is she being pulled away, or is that her taken off under her control?
No, that's her. Hey, I'm out. Type thing.
Yeah, come chase me.
So
Yeah.
she takes off spinning in the air, or instead of just taking off to where she needed to go, like.
I mean, she's trying to be cool, I guess. You know, do a barrel roll.
So did the guy that came out and said like, "Hey, everybody else did a team. I did this by myself." Like somebody came out on Twitch or Twitter and said that.
I think so, yeah. Or maybe that was the voiceover for Garrosh.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's okay. You know, Girashi wasn't a major player in Warcraft, right?
Yeah, just some minor character.
No one cares about what happened to that guy in here.
All jokes aside, it's just really disappointing for, something that they've been building towards to then give it that treatment.
Especially when they've had so much time.
Yeah.
They only had 9 months. Come on. It's not like you can make a kid in that time. Like.
Right, like in that time, like they invented a vaccine and put it out to available to all Americans before Blizzard could put out a patch that was available to Americans.
All right. Fair. And then, so the guild, we're at 9 of 10, right? Week 2, 9 of 10?
Yep. 9 out of 10.
I think we're.
Normal, of course.
Well,
The road push.
I was gonna leave that out and just kind of let people use
Heroic push
imagination.
hopefully happens this next week. So yeah.
Normal Sylve's really easy, so we should get it in
we
5 or 6 pulls.
We just blind pushed it, and then we got to like I think 3rd phase, or I got to 3rd phase. You guys all died in 2nd phase.
I got to 3rd phase. You scrubs didn't make it, but I made it
so
there.
actually in progression, I'm ahead of you guys. So.
Well, besides Cheat, who went pugged it last night, so.
Yeah.
That guy. Yeah.
All right, and then Raid Finder Week 1 opened up this week. I did it on 2 tunes. I think Drew, you went in there and did it. Like, I didn't mind it. Like, what were your thoughts?
It's not bad. I mean, it's Raid Finder. Yeah, it's Raid Finder. Which I guess if you don't go into the main raid with your alts, it's a good way to get a chance at the gems. Still, but yeah, the actual gear that drops out of there is not worth it, even with the slots.
Well, for DPS it is potentially if you can get a 3 set for Unholy, because the level 1 Unholy 3 set is worth about 1,000 DPS.
Even at that low of a gear level, man, because man.
Just the set itself.
So, shards. You just said shards drop in there? That seems like that would be worth it.
Well, here's the thing is like they only drop, you have a chance at them off of each boss, but then you're locked out of that boss of getting shards. So like for instance, if you do normal, then you won't get it in the other 2.
Oh, okay. So you can't triple up by doing okay.
Right.
And then I believe.
So like go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm just adding more. So.
I've done it only on my pally and got an Unholy shard and socketed gloves and from time walking, and don't have a single socketed piece of gear or any Unholy shards on my main. So worth it just to gear alts at the very least that have not gone through the raid. Like Drew says, you're at least not missing out on your chance of shards.
All right.
Yeah. And that's what's going to be weird too, is moving into Heroic, you lose the chance at all these shards in normal. Which is going to kind of suck, right? Like for a lot of people, but in order for us to progress, got to be into Heroic.
At least you only have to get the shard once though. It's not like you have to farm it again, and like once you get a blood shard, it removes that from the pool of shards for you.
Yeah. But at the same time, like probably LFR is going to be even for mains because we aren't going to be downing 6 bosses in Heroic, I don't think. I mean, we might, but they're at the end of the week, there might be some bosses that are left up that you can still get a chance from LFR.
Are you gonna try to do like a optional Tuesday or Saturday or Sunday?
I don't know. It's kind of a lot, to be honest with you, to have people be like, hey, you need to be here 3 days a week for this. We plan on doing a PvP day. We plan on doing all this different stuff. And it's like, okay, there's no time for anything else.
Right.
So yeah, I don't think we're gonna do that, but I mean, if people want to, they can always start it up.
Yeah.
So these shards. So you're saying once you get one, like you can't get repeats of shards? Is that
correct?
Well, that's because you can also take them out and upgrade them.
So there's 9 shards. Once you get it, you don't have to worry about getting that one again, right?
As far as I know, that's how it works. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't get repeats.
Okay, so that's not as bad. Like I thought I'd be chasing after one of these like Zed whatevers, and I only get like the blood one I don't want that gives me leech, but it's a one and done with these.
That is my understanding of the system.
Okay, not as bad of a system. I thought I would be getting the same shitty one I didn't want over and over, and I get one a week. Okay.
Because I believe they always drop at level 1, and then you need to take your embers to upgrade. Because I know like the limit guys, even on their heroic splits, were getting level 1 shards, and then they had to decide which ones they wanted to upgrade with their embers.
Okay. Yeah, that's a lot, man. 5 for the first 15, 30, then 50 for the last bump.
Yeah,
But
I don't have a problem with the actual system of like the shards dropping and all that. I wish it was like that for loot. That'd be cool, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it would.
All right, and I guess so far, what's your guys' favorite boss fight? Because there's some crazy or interesting mechanics we have new to this one that we haven't had before.
Drew, you want to go first?
Sure. For me, probably it'd be either KT or Painsmith, and just because those require a lot more out of the tank than most of the bosses there do.
All right, what about you, Lorraine?
I think all of them have been really solid. Even like Tarragru, just the generic kind of tank and spank. Like at least the anima powers are interesting. But I think Painsmith is head and shoulders better than anything they did in whatever Nathria. And then KT was cool too. KT is a little bit like, it's just long. It's just a long fight. But yeah, Painsmith for sure for me so far. We'll see how Sylvanas on heroic is. On normal, I don't think it's a very interesting fight.
So it's interesting that the favorite ones are the ones that took like the most pulls. Like we spent like hours on Painsmith, and that still ends up being your favorite, as opposed to somewhere it's like this was a pain in the ass because we spent hours on it. So
yeah, it was a pain in the ass, but at the same time, I mean, you want to be challenged in a raid, right?
Right.
And even though we don't have any heroic to really compare with, just to be challenged on a normal boss, I think is cool.
Agreed.
I kind of like the Fate Scribe boss, just based on like how big that arena is. Like it's 100 yards, like just a circle. Like it's just so massive.
Right.
And then there's a lot of going on, like where people have to do stuff. Like I feel like KT is kind of a shit show. Like I don't really know completely what's going on in there. Like I usually just try and kill somebody that's casting shit.
Yeah.
And that stupid shard thing for my AoE as a hunter, like that made me a little bit salty because I put like a 10 parsec just because I can't AoE in that fight. So Blizzard, when you're watching this, fix hunters in that fight. Let us proc our ricochet off those stupid shards. Like it just makes sense. We gotta kill them, so let us proc it. So
Yeah. I
right.
just parse like trash because I'm bad at Warlock.
Any chance to bring back the druid, or the like harden on the warlock and they'll come back?
I'm gonna keep trying on the Warlock for a little bit. I'm getting my Ret Pally ready. I'm really enjoying Ret.
So
Maybe the Druid comes back though.
Just to let you guys know, trash for that guy is like top 5 DPS. That's what he defines as trash, I guess.
What was that?
I was saying that Rain still does amazing, I think, on his Warlock. So the fact that he's saying this trash is just like, wow, okay.
So he's put up like good parses and he's still saying it's trash. Is that what I'm hearing?
Right? Yeah, like he's not bad at him.
I'm parsing to like the 60s, and it needs to be in the 90s.
Jeez.
I need to be better.
Like, I'm in the top 40% with these shitty people. I want to be in the top 10. Like,
Right.
okay.
And he just switched main, so it could definitely be like a gear issue.
I'm really poorly itemized. Yeah,
There you go. I mean, come on.
we'll get there. That's why I'm not giving up yet.
Yeah.
I do like sending all my demons at things.
But I know that you do compare yourself with Bay, and that's probably the main reason.
Yeah, well, we were supposed to both be playing demo, and then he abandoned me to play Destro. So, not too happy about that. If you're watching, Bay.
The betrayal.
Yeah, I was top 10 anime betrayals.
Oh man. All right. So here. So raid's eventful. We'll see what it looks like when we start dipping in our toe into heroic, and once we take a few more attempts at the trash bag lady, Mrs. Hefty. All right. So Torghast, I guess. Like, you guys still doing your 2 every week? We went up to 10 this week or 11? Where are we at? Like, for you guys that are pushing the limits of it.
It's 11.
11.
I tried to get a group to do it, but it's tuned for 237, so it is very hard. So I did the one, not the upper reaches side, whatever the other side is. Cold Heart. Did 3-star to Cold Heart, so couldn't even finish the first floor of upper reaches because the group I was with just kept dying. So it's tough being scaled for 237 gear.
And you're probably pretty high to that item level. You knocking out a 10 or?
I haven't gone into Torghast yet.
Like this week or like
this week? Yeah.
Okay.
It's just like, I don't know. It's still Torghast to me, even though it's less floors or whatever. It's still something I don't really want to go do. I have to do.
I think you're a little bit further away from your mic than you were to start.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just something that I don't want to do that I have to do.
So what are you doing with your legendaries? You just kind of passively doing soul cinders and just whatever happens.
Yeah, well, like I've been doing Torghast every week, but it's always been like the last day of, oh god, I got to do this to stay. Because you do need the soul cinders, but it's not anything that I want to do.
Yeah.
Well,
has you set foot in there, Lynkz?
I haven't gone to like the high end thresholds because my character is around like the 200, 215. So I've been doing like 8s and 9s, like not pushing, like basically whatever it says item level for me. I just go do that. To go to a 6 though, like those armor pieces are expensive, right? Like they're 500,000, 700,000 gold for that. So I don't want to have the cinders now to be forced into that price tag.
Makes sense.
So, like I'll wait till it kind of lays down. Like I thought about like, okay, let's level my character's leatherworking up. And then after I spent like $1 million to get it to rank like 4 and saw the return on it, I'm like, oh my god, like I think I'm just gonna sit on it, like, and not worry about having that extra couple item level bump just because the price of gold for it's nuts.
I bought my rank 5, rank 5 ring, and that was 240,000. And then the rank 6 was like 350. So like I guess gold wise it probably would have made more sense to buy the rank 6 and just wait a couple extra weeks, but instant gratification. I want to be able to craft it first thing next week.
But all that gives you is just a higher item level on the
right. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's just to keep you relevant.
So you guys doing this on alts then too, or is this just a main grind, or
just main for me?
No, Drew's not barely getting on his main. He's not doing on his alts.
No, I mean it's nice that I can send the soul ash that I get off the alts too, because then that means that I don't have to do Torghast on those guys either. So
no, fair. Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
It's a bad system, Blizzard. If you're watching, such a bad system.
Yeah.
Oh, and the memories. So that was an awkward thing. So found out last night. I'm a warrior. I had to go back into castle.
Nathria. Yeah.
And it was off of the Stone Guardians, so I had to go into that wing and do the 3 bosses. And I don't know if you've seen what a DPS queue is for the old raid, but it was 45 minutes for a tank queue, so that was less than ideal. Like 1:30 in the morning, and they're half asleep trying to tank to get that stupid memory. So at least looking for a raid, you're able to get into it and you can get it done.
Isn't there the item that you can pull legendaries that you have not received yet for other specs?
So I don't know if there's another place for it, but the Anima Conductor, once you've locked in 4 zones permanently, then you can go buy it for 35 of whatever your resources like. But it's what, 10 hits on it. So you're looking at 40 days of these hits to be able to lock in the Anima things to be able to get that, unless there's a different one.
Oh, so yeah, that's not alt friendly at all.
Yeah.
If you're re-rolling, you definitely don't want to have to wait 40 days to get a chance to get your legendaries.
Yeah. So, and that's going in there every day, hitting it, locking another segment. So,
Right.
less than
Never
ideal on
mind.
2 fronts there, Blizzard. So look into that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Blizzard. Thank you for listening.
All right. So, WoW events this week. We got 2 of them. They're both around PvP. So we got a new PvP brawl. This, hands down, is my favorite PvP brawl because it's deep 6. You're going in there. It's just 6 of you. And it's a smaller scaled down map usually. So I think in AB it's 3 nodes. If you're doing Warsong, the flags are out there in the front, so you're out there just kind of in the field itself. And it's a lot easier to carry 5 people than it is to carry 14. So you get a couple good people, you can carry the rest of them. It's not as much weight on your back. So PvP Brawl, Deep 6, recommend it. Get out there. What are your guys' thoughts on this PvP Brawl? Go to you there first, Drew.
It gives you honor, which I don't care about.
Oh.
So I guess it might be fun, but it's not something that I'm going to invest my time in.
All right, Rain, are you in the PvP world much, or like?
Not really a PvP person, even though if we do another weekend one with the guild, I'll be partaking. Last weekend I was trying to get my pally caught up, so that
Right.
took my time away from doing anything else. But
Yeah, we would be running them every week, but this week I have something to do in the afternoon, so I won't be there for it.
All right.
But yeah, especially with the nerfs to PvP gear in PvE, like I don't feel any incentive to go get it anymore.
And that is such a horrible nerf, like a hard nerf. Like right now, the max we can upgrade PvP gear to is 203 base, and that puts it to 18?
Yeah, which is fine though. I mean, like you don't want to do PvP gear to do PvE content. That's not how it works.
But in general, it's so low. Like even for PvP, like it's 216 is what you can get base honor. A 216 you can get dropped out of a mythic, like mythic 0.
Mythic
don't
0
know,
is
too.
210, I think. But yeah,
Yeah.
I get your point.
But it's the equivalent though, right? Like I would say that regular battlegrounds are the equivalent of like a 3 or 4 Mythic Plus, right?
I'd almost put it like a heroic dungeon would be equivalent. Like
So,
so much.
even lower item level
Yeah.
then.
Yeah. So then you
Yeah.
get even more out of PvP than you should, is what you're saying.
Maybe I said that wrong. We'll adjust it. accordingly to how opposite of I wanted to say. So.
Well, I think that it feels really bad for classes that the PvP stats are optimal for them. Like, I'll use Demon Hunter. Like, Haste Verse is all PvP stats, like what you're getting on the PvP gear. So you almost felt like required to do PvP before they did the nerfs, because that's where like all your best in slot came from.
Yeah.
So I think that's rough, especially if you're somebody who doesn't PvP. Like, that all your best in slot, you need to get conquest, not just honor. You have to get conquest to get your best in slot stuff.
Well, okay. I guess it's good where it's at then for these guys. So, and then Arena Skirmish week 2. So get in there, knock out those 10 wins, I believe, to get some bonus honor and conquest.
I have a problem with that.
Oh.
Because, okay, it's Arena Skirmish. It's fine. It should count if you do just a regular arena. I mean, come on now.
It doesn't? It used to.
No. You have to do stupid skirmishes that you don't get anything for.
Yep.
So.
Well, all right. And those are kind of a rocky world. Like, you could go against somebody that's horrible, or you could go against a glad team that's just screwing around. So it's such a melting pot of craziness going into this skirmish. You don't know what you're going to get. And then on the PvP topic, we had the first weekend of Might's PvP day. Drew quarterbacked that. There was I don't know, I can't even count how many people did that with us. There was like you, me, Potato. I won't count everybody else. But what was your thoughts on the first week?
First week was good. We ran some threes. We went over and we got the weekly done. So we got, a lot of us got the trinket from that, which I didn't know about. So when you went into arenas and you saw some dude just channeling something as a healer, I'm just like, oh, I can't heal him. I can't heal him. It's like, because you have that stupid maledict thing on him that just slaps, man. But yeah, it was a good time. And like I said, we aren't going to do it this week because I'm not going to be there for it. But next week, we'll probably be picking it up again.
And then potentially the week after that off again? Is that another one you'll be out of town?
Yeah, but at that point, hopefully we'll have someone that will want to kind of maybe fill in for it for that week.
All right, so maybe this week will be the week we spark that interest in Rain, so we can quarterback that without us.
Yeah, and also what the emphasis on in arena right now is just getting everybody above that 1K rating. So,
all right, good goal. All right, well, we'll see how PvP goes. PvP is kind of a weird topic right now, so we will jump on to TBC. Week 7 of TBC being out right now. We, with my guild and TBC, we finally killed Mag. We've officially finished phase 1, and I've got a couple clips from it. So with Mag, it's kind of like a burn phase with a bunch of ads and shit going around, and we finally got out of that phase, and now we're on to the 5 different little channel things that you've got to have a click order. Well, we finally got through it, and I don't think everybody was completely prepared for where you're at to click on things. So Thirst or however you pronounce his name is my neighbor next door, and I was on the same marker as him. So here's the first clip of me running over to our marks, trying to figure out where he's at, because I know he's the first clicker.
For cube, go to your cube now. Got 30 seconds.
And I think at this point I start looking around for him. Where's Thirst? Where's Thirst? Because he's supposed to be over on that cube, getting ready to click. He's not there. So first I look, I'm like, oh, where's he at? Why is he not there? Well, then we go to clip number 2 of him still not being there, and me just watching it. Like, I'm not clicking out of order. Like, I'm just not gonna click that shit. And apparently, I probably should have clicked it instead of just sitting there watching us die.
First took mine, so.
What?
You were on the
Whoops.
Wrist, you were
Yeah.
four.
More importantly, to run animation on the torrent, I forgot how slow it makes you look.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
As opposed to a
That's why.
gnome that's like sprinting.
Yeah.
No, with a gnome, your legs are actually moving, man. With a torrent, it like you are literally in slow motion.
Right. Well, so we got that down. I guess maybe we can get our farm status down to an hour now each week. And
So
then-
what's your guys' goals, or what's your goal for TBC? You just gonna try to go through everything, or?
At this point, my goal is to be replaced, so I don't have to play it each week until the new stuff comes out. So I feel obligated or like loot committed because I've got gear through it where I'm not gonna leave my healer short. So I'm gonna keep showing up every Tuesday and healing until they find somebody to replace me that wants to only do that. So
Right. And then are you done with Classic?
until the new stuff comes out, like being a healer, I can't go like grind stuff or do solo content, like because it just take forever. It's not efficient. So
Right.
So, Lynkz, here's a little bit of information for you.
oh,
There is no new stuff.
new repeat stuff, re-release stuff.
It's
So-
not really new then. Like if you go and you buy a used car, it's not a new car. It's a used car, man.
Oh, so no, in that context, it's a new car. Like it's my new car. Like I don't care if somebody used it before. It's new to me. So you brought the
And you-
car reference to a guy that drives a 20-year-old car. So
You didn't ever do BC before, right? This is it. So it is kind of new for you.
so I did, but it was on a dead server. So like our grind was Kara. Like 25 minutes wasn't a thing.
Gotcha.
So like we would go in with like 15 of us, and we would kill like Sunwell Trash to try and grab a BOE. Like, but there wasn't any actual progress on that stuff. So I'll be able to see that for the first time. Like,
I understand somewhat then that there's some draw and interest from you if you didn't do it.
and I enjoyed Kara. Like I did Kara every week for the whole time almost, and that was what I was excited for. But the Kara run with that guild is on Wednesdays, and I'd rather do retail raid on Wednesdays. So I stepped back from Kara, but I still have the Tuesday main raid with them. So until they find healers to replace me, and then they can have my permanent spot. So
Nice.
all right, and then we've got finally 3 weeks in waiting, the Might Raffle. Cue crazy sound that I'm gonna put in the editing. And the winner is, I guess you guys want to guess who the winner is?
My guess is Candy Cane.
Nope. Rain, you got a guess?
Blood.
Nope. So
those
and
two. There we go.
it's for doing the troll event, I think was the so based on whoever showed up there. Like, were you guys there? Do you know who was there for that event? Because the winner won off of that.
So Bay won again.
I was there.
So was it just two people there or what?
Candy Cane was there. Bay was there. Hacked was there.
All right. Well, the winner is Thunderfury. So you won
Congrats.
the last My Raffle
Finally.
prize. The anticipation waiting out the 3 weeks is worth it for you to bring home the title on that.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, we'll cue
That's
the fancy graphic I made of like tickets flying in at this point and put
Yeah.
on YouTube.
Well, you could just superimpose a ticket in my hand right here.
Yes.
There you go.
Do you have a speech?
Oh.
Your acceptance speech?
Yeah, I want to thank all the little people, all the gnomes that helped me get here.
And I think that'd be a good way to superimpose that welcome to Mechatork thing. All right, well, and then again next week, it's the 6-month mark, half a year we've been doing the Morning Wood. We're gonna have some live drawings, so show up. You gotta be present to get it. So next Sunday, 8 a.m. ish, our normal time. Show up for the show. I guess any other topics you guys want to touch on before we roll into final thoughts?
I think I'm good. I'm just really excited to finish up normal and get started on heroic this next week.
Same.
All right, Rain, you got anything for final thoughts?
No. Limit should be starting up here soon, so keep watching World First Race. Been all consuming.
All right, and if you're watching this on YouTube, it may be over. We may have a new World First Race winner or what have you. So we'll see how that lays out. Still trying to hammer out my schedule to see what streams look like. Probably won't have them finalized when we get back from vacation. Next week we will have the show, same place on this channel. After that, watch will be on either Drew's or Hacks. Either or, we'll see where that goes. Appreciate special guest Rain here for showing up. We'll have a link to his information in the description. Then we do a shout out here on Twitch somehow, right?
Thank you for having me. It was fun again.
I think that worked. All right, good deal. And again, if you're watching this on YouTube, hit the subscribe, ding the bell. Give us some comments of what you want to see in the future. I believe we're still looking on what my hunter should be named, so let's see some comments about that. Top 2 right now are Lynkz Vanas and Saban Lynkz, of course. That being the top 2 and only 2 suggestions so far. So we'll see where that ends up. Maybe we'll just shelf the hunter. I don't know. But again, every Sunday, we'll see you guys. Morning Wood. Appreciate everybody that stopped out. Appreciate you having here.